Welcome, folks, to an Up on the Lookout podcast special. Joining me is a cast of characters and crew from our absolutely fantastic podcast series, Revelation F. The story of What If Frieza Turned Good, which I, in 2019, poo-pooed to Hiffle and back, thinking it could never happen. And now we're here 3 years later and going like, well, certainly showed myself right there. But either way, joining me is this time, because we talked to our heroes, or neutral heroes, of Chilai and Yamcha. This time we're with the villains, or the
antagonists.
Yes, exactly, the antagonists. So first off, we of course have my trusty sidekick Haverok, as well as the legendary Mucor.
Yes. Hello, I'm Haverok, and I cannot believe it's not Berter.
Oh, yeah, that always gets me. And then next of all, we have our general magnet, being Sophie B.
Hello.
Oh, grandiose, and unless you've listened to the end of season 2.
They love to hate me there.
Oh, yeah. It takes a special actor to own it. Absolutely. Yeah. Then of course we have our surprise fan favorite. We have little Frigid.
Greetings, everyone.
Absolutely, that's a very respectful intro.
It wasn't a surprise to me. The moment I saw Frigid's design, I knew that they'd be a bit popular.
Oh, surprise maybe to you.
I think I knew that there'd be some kind of reaction with the audience, but we'll talk more about this later. But either way, it's just like that after that first episode 13, and then people were like, "Oh, did that just happen? Did I just make a character and I had no idea it would get that reaction?" Oh, okay, all right, let's roll with that. But of course, we have what may or may not turn out to be something more than just a random voice in a certain computer system. We, of course, have Diera, the first of the triad, played by Alex.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you very much. And we were just talking about this off recording, that we managed to recruit people from 5 different time zones into a thing. So we're all in different parts of the world, so we've managed to actually coordinate it. We're all here. So
I think we all earn an adulting achievement. Like adulting would be much more pleasurable if you have those little achievements, popping up.
Yes. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. So the main topic for today is that we'd like to just talk to you all and just get to know some of the characters and provide some extra tidbits that you might get or may not get from the main show. And of course, knowing Hav, he'd love to dangle some extra tidbits just to kind of add some extra curiosity and intrigue going forward. Is that
because you are the one who spoils stuff on live streams?
Oh no! Ooh, calling you out.
It's so exciting, and the reaction of people.
I know.
The people responding to things. It's just it's so nice. It's so nice, but yeah.
Audience interaction is always important.
Yes. So I think we'll talk. Let's talk about. We'll go in order of introduction. So first off, we'll discuss the what originally turned out to be the comic foil of Trojan back in the day, General Magnet. So the nomenclature of the Frigidaires when I first came up with it was mainly to do with things that you would find, in a fridge, in a refrigerator. So there's magnets, because everyone's got magnets stuck on their fridge and stuff like that. So it's like that. So, because for the longest time in season 2, Magnet was stuck on Frigid for the longest time, and how to deal with them. So kind of adds up in the end. Because you got Lieutenant Crispa, as in the crisper drawer. And then, of course, you've got Lord Frigid, or Little Friggy. So there's always that. And then a chest freezer, as in Chester. So there are nice little kind of allusions to things that can keep your food and drink cool.
I do love the fun. I do love the fun that someone can have if they're trying to keep in line with Toriyama's naming conventions of I need a pun related to food or the kitchen at this time.
Yeah.
Nobody has figured out yet Deera's pun naming convention, which makes us roll in glee. Because we give so many hints in the comments, people still didn't get it.
No, not quite. We changed the spelling a little bit, but that's all we're going to say. It will become clear in the fullness of time, but for now, we'd like to give people a few months to guess and speculate, theorize. So having that moment just to kind of like try and bring some connections between that nomenclature, but it will become clear relatively soon. But yes, so General Magnet started off as what may be just the eccentric general and caretaker leader of the Frigidaire Empire. And
the Monty Python reference.
Yes, exactly. That's where it all came from. The Monty Python illusions, as in, you just have the great, anything that Michael Palin or the likes can actually do. Just, this rather ridiculous and stupid general, but sounds grandiose and really owns himself too much and really adores his lunches. That's the thing.
It's basically how can we turn that one scene from Holy Grail with the character of Brother Maynard talking about the holy hand grenade.
And Saint Attila raised the hand grenade on high and said,
Yes.
Yes.
We just need to find a way of like
3 shall be the number of the counting, and the number of the counting shall be 3.
Yeah.
And I just love the addition of 5 is right out.
and we loved Sophie's rendition of this voice. So, like, in original scripts, Magnet was just a Frigidaire envoy, but like after recording, we were like, this has to be a character. This has to be a major character.
This has to be what you think is going to be the lead assistant of the what is going to be Frigid. And
Magnet tried. Magnet tried to raise that boy right, but he was too stubborn.
But then ultimately, when you find out at the end of season 2, it turns out that it wasn't Magnet's fault after all. It was that blasted intern that did it without even knowing it. So when I was writing that the finale script and I was just thinking, ooh, what can we have a little twist to kind of like make Magnet really full of fervor to realize that, ooh, there's something to this. So then I thought, well,
anything for Magnet to latch on to where he would think that it wasn't his fault.
Yes, exactly. So go like, oh, well, Jukai messed around with certain things. Let's make that important. So we ultimately have it where Jukai reset Frigid's personality and saved his life because with the way that they were overloading what Trojan had been and all the research from data, as Merlot would have said, he'd have turned to slime. Frigid would basically have his mind melt upon coming out of the chamber,
which would have been bad because then we wouldn't have gotten the scene with Frigid wearing his little glasses and carrying his man purse.
Oh yes, of course.
as they go shopping for a new computer system.
It's shopping gear. It's shopping gear, absolutely.
I saw so many people who thought that was such a cute little image, myself included.
That was actually Kaiju who does the thumbnails. He just came up with that on his own because I just gave him the brief of like, oh, Frigid is going shopping with Gavel, who, by the way, is the caretaker and lead auctioneer on planet Ebe, which is a massive auctioneer house in Cooler's sphere of influence and empire, where you can basically get anything and everything.
Any likeness to actual place is pretty. It's not intentional, obviously. Wink.
No, it's Ebe, not it's Ebe, not that other place that is also Ebe.
So is do they have a rival faction called Amazon?
Nazamon.
Yes, that.
Yeah, Nazamon.
Yeah.
That was a little extra addition because I think we actually did that. Have came up with it whilst we were recording with Sophie for that episode. It's like, hey boss, let's add this to, and then it's like, oh, that's great.
Why did you make me French?
Curiously enough,
they have
it's not me. It's not that wasn't me trying to do a French accent. Although somebody in one of our recent roundtable live streams thought you were French, and it's thought, oh, it would spice this. It would spice the stream up the next time that the Frenchman and Masako disagreed that they punched each other in the face. And it's like that's a
The
new one.
Frenchman and Masako.
It's like, what? I'm not being. You're not French. I know that.
Sounds like a new sitcom.
The Frenchman and Masako and
Coming soon to Space Hulu.
Oh,
Now, see, the joke of the show is that the Frenchman is actually a Polak, but nobody seems to realize this.
but no. The point was though is, and indeed, Alex, you are correct. We are having plenty of allusions to. I'll stop it. Have no
allusions to.
For those of you in the chat that can't see it, Have has changed his screen name to Not a Frenchman. Don't worry, we know that Have. I will say that Have originates from Poland, not from France. There you go. There you go. All is well now.
It's the place that The Witcher's from, guys. It's not that hard.
But either way, yes, there will be plenty of allusions in future seasons to other places where you might be able to purchase goods. Maybe it depends on how far we want to go down that rabbit hole, but we shall see. We shall definitely see. But either way, yes, correct, Alex. There are many other places that we will allude to. But Magnet, over the course of season 2, basically goes through this crisis of like, everything that Trojan had been building him up toward to nurture this brand new version, the ultimate creation of all that's gone before him. And then he turns out to be a nice guy and wanting to learn. And he's been told, you got to read all these books about ruling an empire. And Philly actually gave me a couple of ideas about this to further imply that, family is very important. And once I find out, of course, about Moraine and Drumlin, we'll talk more about them later when we talk to Rich about Frigid, is that, well, I view them more importantly than I do for you, because you are not my family. So it's sort of like that.
Even though I would say there is a hint of that deep inside, Frigid may have a soft spot for Magnet, and one of the reasons why he didn't kill
Yes.
him, which we'll discuss, is that really, despite of everything, Magnet is the closest of a father figure that Frigid has. Really.
Which, oh dear, that poor boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, of course, absolutely. We did make it very important to not have Frigid downing on Magnet in every single episode. It starts off like Frigid trying to be nice and playing along, and it slowly gets worse and worse over the season. Like,
especially since Magnet, because his most successful period as an administrator for the Frigidarians was under Trojan. Because I kind of envisioned that as why, despite the fact that Trojan was such a sort of one-dimensional in the sense that they were very, very much just evil for the sake of evil sort of situation. The reason why Magnet is so diehard, like, in favor of that, the memory of that version of the Frigidarian Empire's like leadership, is just because, like, it was the point in his life at which he had the most leeway and most power as an administrator and the most, like, respect. Although respect is a bit of a has a bit of a double meaning there, since Trojan was very clearly laughing at him the whole time with stuff like the voice mandate and stuff like that.
Let's say to not spoil, a script that I'm currently writing. TLDR, to not spoil too much, like Frigid, Trojan knew how to push Magnet's buttons, and he knew how to utilize his particular talents to do, like, things that were kind of scary, but Magnet has this thing that even though he has a lot of very bad traits, Magnet is that kind of character that needs to feel useful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that was over the course of this season, I really wanted to try and stress the fact that, like, from his point of view, Magnet was looking at it as a sort of legacy thing where he's just like, I have to get this right, or else my entire reason for existing is irrelevant, because that I would just be a failure.
Yeah, well, fortunately, though, things do come around in the fullness of time. So, as we see with Magnet, is that he does eventually find out that he didn't let Trojan down. He was emboldened, but then ultimately, he then started to be swayed by a certain malodious entity, let's just say, which brings us around quite nicely to Alex with Diera. So
A certain smooth talking entity.
yes, well, it's not quite smooth talking once you first meet them, as in Diera is not one single person or entity, but a collective. Note how we say the first person pronoun, as in we. There's always like that.
Yes,
Something
yes,
I
yes.
always forgot when we were writing. Well, I was writing. You see what I did there? I did the we and I. I got that confused. That's funny because it's part of the story, because I forget I and we. But then I did we and I. There you go. That makes it funny. There you go. In practice. But in any case, Deera was something that... Because originally I wanted to have in season 1... When we were writing season 1, I just had that Shiraz was just a very smart aleck, but very unique computer system. But then when we were developing season 2, Hav came up with the idea of then adding some extra nuggets of information for it, and then eventually came up with the idea of the triad. And it was like, ooh, because we sort of had this thing in R&R where we had Ranch, Trunks, and Goten, where they were pathos, logos, and ethos. And that was a really, really cool thing to have, that they were all three of them had their own place in that group. So with just the idea of these ancient AIs with Vivak OS, which just started off as just coming up with Vivak OS, and the reason why it's called Vivak OS is vivacious, as in you just take out the I and U, so you get Vivak OS. And I do definitely want to do some analog horror stuff with Vivak OS. I think you could easily do some stuff with...
We need.
Yes, absolutely, with Deera in the background or something like that. Just kind of we need to play on that. We need to play on that with the audience, absolutely. We need to have ourselves a Thales in here, people.
Yeah. And we have to tell you, Alex's recording sessions are one of the most entertaining recording sessions we ever did. Oh my god.
Oh,
the range of this boy. Oh my god.
I will admit that I was a little bit bummed that I didn't get to have a joint recording session for my Magnet interactions with Deera, if only just because I was like, I'm sure that the recording sessions with Alex are probably a blast. So now you've just confirmed it for me, and now I'm sad.
We can do it for your centric episode. We may think about this.
Yeah, we might do that actually.
Let's just see how that all works in the future.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of that's how things get done. Things get done like that, just by through conversations. Boom, there you go. But either way, we want to have with Deera just this idea of a computer system that is broken but learning and evolving very quickly. So you go from episode 7 of season 2, where he is they are very fragmented as this collective, and you think, oh, it's just a one and done thing, like a Doctor Who episode where they go to a random place and the computer's gone doolally, and it's like, oh, okay, that's that, and then you go, oh no, wait, it's stalking them. stalking them, and what could happen. And then, of course, he makes an entrance, and then ultimately finds Magnet. And essentially, this is our equivalent of Barbary capturing Margin Vegeta. As in, just like Diera in the form of Barbary takes over Magnet's Vegeta. And we all know how that turned out.
I think some of the fans might take umbrage with Magnet being compared to Vegeta.
Magnet and Vegeta?
Margin Vegeta. Margin Vegeta. There's a difference. Margin Vegeta is forever awesome. Fortunately. So when in doubt with a discussion about Vegeta, just add Margin to the start of it, and then everyone will agree.
It's not the Vegeta part I think they take umbrage. It's the comparison of Vegeta of Magnet to Vegeta.
Oh no, just in the case of Barbary, the agreement and the understanding.
Fans
As in,
are
like,
not understanding.
well,
Like, how dare you, Moss?
oh yes,
Unsubscribe!
I'm looking through the comments of the finale, all the way that we are talking, and like there are three constants in the comments from the finale. One is like everyone feels bad for Frigid. Two, everyone is mad at Magnet, but at the same time love the voice. And three, there are few people that have crush on Alex's voice.
Oh dear.
Being the fandom community, whatever, de facto voice of Spamton kind of gave some cred for that already, just because for some reason Spamton is one of those characters that people have a strange sort of attraction to. Now it's probably carrying over into
Tumblr
Alex's
sexy man, so to speak.
of 2022, because back in the day it would have been Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. So you're in good company there, Alex.
Well, at least I'm not the one-slur.
I don't think anything is going to be as bad as Tumblr Onceler fandom was.
Oh,
No,
well,
no.
in any case, there was a hugely positive reaction to Deera. And the main thing we wanted to
Actually,
say
look
to
up the
folks,
comments right now. So
Yeah. Now, I always tell people whenever they're being debuted in a brand new episode, when they're like, all the episodes come out, bask in the afterglow, my friend. Bask in it. Just enjoy the comments, because more often than not, like 99% of the time, people just like adore whatever happens. It's just like, boom. It's always great. But Spamton was not the reason why we contacted you. It was that got me on your radar.
Yeah.
But then we, Hav and I were discussing, like, what did we want to do with Deera? So, Hav, what was the main inspiration for Deera?
Yeah, so like we created Diera we thought about Diera way before Undertale Chapter 2 was. I mean, we were looking for a very like really wide range and somebody that could that could go from cold and calculated to absolutely manic in 2 words and not even stutter.
Exactly.
Some of the inspirations, like some of the inspirations I have initially was like for all of you Fallout players, there like your interaction with Master when you have those distorted voices around, that entity composed
Shodan,
of different
perhaps,
voices.
if you're familiar with System Shock.
Yeah, exactly.
Shodan
exactly.
or the Master from Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good example.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So, just not the Spamton, although that does come up, but that wasn't our main inspiration. So we were trying to like delve deep into classic corrupt AI.
And it's hard not to run away from it, but come on, people! If you are saying that Alex is just Spamton, you're undercutting this guy's talents. Like, come on.
Indeed, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was able to do some very, very different kinds of takes in these, like getting to be like really digging deep into like the sinister, like malevolently so. Like Spamton's manipulative, but like he's very, very rarely like out for blood, except maybe in the Snowgrave route.
Yeah.
Diera, I could feel like a lot of like force and like intimidation. Like
Active
one of the
malice.
things we were doing. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like one of the big comparisons was actually more Palpatine when
Yeah.
we were doing
Yeah.
this.
I love that.
Yeah. There was. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's
Take the
just,
shot.
yeah. Ultimately, instead of just like eventually it'll just get to the point where Deera just go, "I am the Senate." It's like, but no, but the main standout thing was like,
am the Senate.
well, there you go. We're going to have to do that now in some way. But in any case,
Oh dear.
it was the.
Well,
it was
we'll
the
have to have
episode-
Oh, dear Lord.
But in episode 7 of season 2, so it's the first time where Captain F and Deera meet, and it's just like they want to leave, and Deera's just like, "Why must you try against us?" And then he brings out the whole thing about Shigerian slave labor, and that rattles Frieza. Because there are so many times in this series where people just go, "Oh, well, Frieza could just punch them and then the episode's over." It's like, no, we need to try and find other ways of bringing Frieza down a peg or two. And that was
One of
like just that moment of, how do you know that? It's just, I just that moment of vulnerability and like, what? And then just he has something on him.
Challenges with Diera, like we wanted a villain that would be cerebral, because like Frieza is powerful in physical form, he's also very cunning, so we needed a cerebral villain that can get those characters on mental level, let's say.
Exactly.
And
So-
I must say, like mine and a lot of commenters' favorite moment from Deera Magnet interaction is that little "trust me." It is the right choice.
It is the
It's
right choice.
so great.
Trust me.
He said it.
Yeah.
He said the thing, guys. He said the thing.
Yeah, and over the course of the series, Deera's voice will adapt and evolve.
Yeah.
So for those of people that thought it was a little bit difficult to decipher, it will improve and become more coherent in time as Deera does evolve and improve. And I will find it was very funny when eventually because we had it in episode 12 where Deera's pretending to be Shiraz, so basically trying to emulate my wife. And
There is a recording that exists.
yeah, there is the original recordings. You can hear a little bit of Alex in there,
Yeah.
but then there's just a bit, and then I had to kind of like trim and like piece together the things I recorded with Philly, and then I had that kind of like it's just this random bit of noise that comes in, and I'm thinking I want this to be a moment where if this came into on your phone and like this is like you heard this and it just suddenly it's abruptly started and abruptly ended and it'd be like, what? It'd be enough to unsettle you, just like that that constant reverb, just like the stronger than it's just like it's this weird sound space of Deera trying to simulate Shiraz's voice, but it doesn't quite work, but it sounds freaky as hell, so it does work in a way.
Very.
So-
One of the coolest things we can do with Deera, because like I did some of the audio editing and I had a lot of fun with that, was that some of like the voice tracks of Deera go only in one headphone. That's why the best way to interact with Deera is headphone. And I tested that on my friend. So and I noticed that at the very precise moment they turned to the right, as there was something on their shoulder, so it worked.
Surround sound.
Yeah, yeah.
That just makes me very happy, as like mixing is just, it's a delight to do, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I love panning from the left to the right as well. I've done a few like soundscapes with that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
It can make all the difference. Like you feel like, in Deera's case, like the character's entangling you, or like, gently, like the devil on your shoulder.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's what we did in DBZA with Piccolo, where they had Nail and Kami inside of them. Nail was in the left channel and Kami was on the right channel. Yeah. So it kind of like you can really play along really well when you have like two different channels. So it's really, really cool. So
It's very simple, but like it makes such a big difference.
absolutely. So I think the next thing to do is to move on to the main event, as in what you thought was going to be the big bad, but turned out to be a cinnamon roll.
Turned out to be the biggest cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
The best cinnamon roll.
and the most unexpected. This would be, as I would say, unexpected item in bagging area. As in, like, that was for me. It was just that was like thing of like, wow, just the whole of like from the Bill Wirtz history of the world thing. It's like, wow, that worked. It's like just like, but it's Frigid,
Well.
played by, of course, our Piccolo and Bardock from R&R, Richard.
That's right.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, with Frigid, this one, I absolutely loved how Frigid came out. And at first, I wanted to be that jerk in season 1 where you end it as soon as Frigid says one line as, "What are we going to do with you, brother?"
We intentionally made it that way, where
Yes.
it's like we gave it like a creepier vibe. Like,
Yes.
oh man, we don't know what's gonna happen in season 2, but it leads you into thinking something, and then we just completely go the other direction. Like,
Yes.
oh, no, actually, not quite.
Exactly. And then I got
It even took Magnet by surprise.
yeah, it got inspiration from the sequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey. For those of you, there is a sequel, 2010, the year we made contact, where I won't spoil it too much because you really should see it. It's nowhere near as like iconic as Stanley Kubrick's classic, but it's a very good mid-80s sci-fi film. It's a worthy sequel. It's worth your time. And also, it's always really cool to see Helen Mirren playing a cosmonaut. It's always really good. Young Helen Mirren, and John Lithgow in there as well, and Taliesin Jaffe, who directs the Helsing dubs in it, playing a 10-year-old kid. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, no, there is
Wow. He was
Yeah.
in 2010.
Yeah, he was in 2010. He played the Dr. Floyd's son.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, Taliesin Jaffe, that guy.
Damn, he worked with Roy Scheider.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he was only a little child back then, but like, that's my trivia for the day. Absolutely. And they had to rebuild all the sets because Kubrick destroyed them all, so they had to rebuild it all from the ground up.
Surprised me.
But yeah, either way, there is this
Kubrick.
there is this interaction right at the end, which is probably one of the biggest twists probably in the mid 80s of what would expect to happen. And it's just this kind of like wondering of like, I cannot explain what's going on and all this stuff. And it's Frigid piecing things together as in like, I don't know why you're here and why I'm supposed to kill you. I don't know. Like this character who has no idea why he exists and what he's meant to do. And all the while, Magnet's just like screaming as in like, you have the power to kill him. It's like, kill him, you fool. It's like just a beat.
Who are you?
Yeah,
Are you my daddy? Why are you screaming?
basically, yeah. So, but Frigid, Freeza's just like, oh goodness, this is funny. Oh, I wish I had my appendages on me. But either way, so Frigid starts off as this blank slate, as in like, yeah, I found it really funny in the comments. Like Frieza goes, "Oh, I'm not going to teach you things," and then 10 seconds later, "I will teach you one thing." But even then, it was just that one basic thing of like, remember who, as in this is the Mufasa Simba. Remember who you are.
And also, this is a very Frieza thing to say. Oh, I'm not going to do this. And
But I will.
But I will anyway.
Yeah, so it sets Frigid down the path of, okay, well, I'm meant to rule things, so I'll figure this out. But one thing I want to do is not be like Trojan. I will show them my own way. So you think at the end of episode 1, it's like, ooh, he's going to be his own person. Ooh. And then things improve all the more when Moraine and Drumlin come into the mix after Frigid's learned about family being important. And like, granted, at first you think Moraine and Drumlin are going to be, oh, they are dum-dums. And admittedly, whenever I record with Stan for Drumlin, there's always laughter. He's gone on record to tell me this is probably one of the funnest recording sessions he ever does. As in, like, it's just
I love them. I love them
it just
very,
comes
very
off-
much.
That's what I wanted to do. It's okay.
Alex also had a chance of doing drum.
It's a drum. That's the thing. So it's just whenever Drumlin's off and he's happy, instead of just like humming, he just goes drum. But either way, they have their own personalities. But Frigid can see that, yeah, they're simple, but they're not stupid. And as we said at the end of season 2, no, they're not. If they're hyper-focused, as in, like, they are neurodivergent in some way. As in, like, if you give them something to do, just one thing at a time, they will do it well. They will do it very, very well. It's just, you just don't overload them, okay? But if you give them things and then give them some proper guidance, and then it all works out.
But a leader needs to be capable of multitasking, which is why they are failures.
Well, yes. Well, at least we're still on the ship. But yeah, the thing is, the thing I want to really bring up is that throughout the entire season, even though Frigid becomes their leader, they still respect Magnet. They still go, "Oh, sorry, old boss," as in,
Which
like,
he totally doesn't deserve, but but I do love that aspect of them that they're even willing to.
They still feel bad for him. So
yeah, they don't hate anybody except the person that killed Mutune.
Yeah.
Once they find out who it was. As in, like, but yeah, but we'll get to that right now, actually. So the first, like, because by episode 8, Frigid sort of knows who he is, but doesn't really know the power that he has, because his first form is as powerful as Trojan's final form. As in, like, he is strong.
And that's exactly what I love about that episode. It's exploring what he can do, and he's not confident with himself, and you know, his brothers are actually teaching him, you know, to be more confident and do things. You know, they're not simple. They're like you said, you know, they're smarter than they appear, and you know, he really respects his brothers and respects family, like Vin Diesel or something.
Absolutely. There's a lot of family in season 2. Like, incidentally,
a lot of
like
family.
Yeah.
Like, the moment when I wrote in episode 5 with Niera and Chilai, where basically Chilai said, "I will not let you hurt me or my family," and it breaks Niera, as in, like, oh my god, I have been searching and trying to bring back my family, and yet you call them your family. My breaks.
So I'm the baddie.
Yeah, no. But then on TV tropes, they basically call Frieza "jerkass has a point" trope, as in like, no, wait, no, Niera does have a point. No, Frieza is bad. So, but
yeah, to those of you who don't know, we have our own TV tropes page,
Which is
we do.
massive.
I check it. I check it at the end of every episode to see what's been added, and I'm thinking, oh, that's great.
Same.
Yeah, I do.
That's our little.
I had no
guilty
idea.
pleasure.
Yeah, me neither.
This out.
But yeah, no, it's great. It's really, really good. And
Awesome.
but with Frigid, at the end of that episode, he finds out that they had a sister, as in, like, Mutune. As in, like, Drumlin, Moraine, and now Mutune. They are derived from the remnants of glaciers and rock formations.
Yeah.
And that
Which
was
is
an
a
idea,
really
again,
cool
from my
thing.
wife, Philly, who is a biology teacher, so she's very smart.
Very, very.
yeah.
I did
brilliant.
not catch on to Mutane.
Yeah, incidentally, she suggested for the next episode that, we bring on Shiraz and we do a Revelation F quiz.
Ooh.
Yeah, that could be fun. That could be fun. But yeah, so at the end of that episode, he gains the ability to use his powers properly. So he gains another facet. And then, of course, when on planet Ebe, he then discovers the idea of bargaining and bartering and all that stuff, and discovers Merlo, who is the brother or brethren operating system of Shiraz.
And Deera.
And Deera, of course. But when we first meet them, it's not quite sure about Deera's identity. So we don't know whether they're connected, but we do find out they are, of sorts. And we'll find out more in season 3. But Frigid's building up his posse. And I wanted to have it as in, like, he does all the things. And he even befriends Cooler, who is very hard to impress. And Cooler's been through a lot. If you go through to the original What If series, Trojan was a sadist and beat Cooler half to death, testing out his second form on Cooler. So it was and so basically Cooler has bad memories. So when it seemed like that Frigid was no better than Trojan, he quickly was like, no, okay, no, we're at war. As in, like,
PTSD triggered.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
done with you.
Because people were suddenly going, wow, they're really stupid. They just went to war like that. They've been through a lot with Trojan.
I saw so many people who were like, why aren't they giving this sweet child the benefit of the doubt?
because again, like, they don't know this character as well as you guys do. Like you, audience, knew how pure Frigid is. They don't.
Yeah, no. The last time Frieza met Frigid is when he let him go, and Cooler has only talked to him a couple of times on a speaker. So,
well, to be perfectly fair, it's not like the people that we've met from Frieza's race over the course of the series have been portrayed as anything other than sort of the classic D&D trope of always chaotic evil or whatever, Exactly. So.
No, exactly. Absolutely. So I wanted to have it in a way where, Frigid's like learning these things and he's so happy about what he's achieved, but then it gets taken all away from him. So he just loses his entire world is taken away from him because of Magnet and Deera.
And Richard's performance of those emotions is just outstanding. The breakdown. It's really powerful.
Just the moment when you just hear, Magnet goes, "In the name of Lord Trojan," Frigid comes, you just and then it goes off on
build
one.
up.
And then there were people going like, "Well, why didn't he just kill Magnet?" It's like, well, then that would be him just stooping down to Trojan.
That would be him. That would be him making the point that he needs to be, proving Magnet's point that he needs to be more like Trojan to get stuff done. Which at that point he would absolutely not.
If Magnet
doesn't want Magnet to win.
For example, if Magnet was killed, as in like you could easily have it where Magnet's going like, "You see, you are and always will be."
Right.
It's just like
we need a Frigid like Darth Vader, like
yes, yeah. But,
I'm afraid that in your anger, you've proven my point. You've killed me.
Good.
You killed me both physically and in terms of humor. You killed me.
Like why kill Magnet when Deera is going to have so much fun with this character in season 3.
Oh, yes.
I am so excited.
You guys absolutely put him through the ringer, I will say.
Oh yes, but the thing is though is that the
Rightfully
audience are still by his side, and Frigid will do a lot of soul searching this coming season.
Yeah.
Sure.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to his arc. I will say too, like I was actually quite nervous trying to do this character justice. So early on, when he's a bit of a blank slate, it kind of mirrors how I approach the character as well, because I'm like, I don't really know a whole lot about this character, just like the audience. We're finding him, we're trying to feel him out, see what he's about, and then we learn with each episode what he can do, and like I learned different facets of his character, and family is very important to him, and it even changed how I see Frigid and how I played him. Because obviously when he first cast me, I was like, okay, I wonder what I'm gonna do here. And you're trying to workshop it. It wasn't quite working with my head, but once I got your direction, I'm like, oh, okay. He's just kind of like start where one and just do it that way, and slowly we'll build a character.
And this development is really interesting of how much went out from your performance, because like initially Frigid was a little bit condescending towards his brothers, but that changed. Mm-hmm. So this relationship also evolved a little bit, like Because he kind of tries. He is tiny bit condescending in their first meeting. It changes, especially at the end, but there is a little arc, the little character arc there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think one of the funnest aspects of experiencing this character from a position like my position as the role of Magnet is trying to get into the headspace of blaming this poor innocent blank slate Bab for anything is very, very hard, but like when you've done such a great job with this character and making them likable and relatable, as far as just being like, okay, well, I need to learn. And when you think about it, like that really is the aspect of being a leader that he should be focusing on. But Magnet is so intent on crafting him into this carbon copy of the guy who was in charge when Magnet was sort of at his most respected, that he ignores the fact that Frigid actually wants to be like a good emperor, a good leader. And I think you really managed to encapsulate all of those aspects of the character with your performance. So you did a fantastic job there.
I appreciate that.
No, that's great. And we appreciate you all for being here, because I think with this, that about wraps up our musings about Revelation F and its villains. I'm pretty sure we'll have you all again back on the podcast sometime sooner or later as the series progresses for certain topics. So thank you all for your time.
Maybe cheeky plugs.
And cheeky plugs. Yeah. Anyone has anything they would like to share and convey with the audience, now is your time.
I'll start with my YouTube channel. It's just Alex Rochon. You'll likely have it autocorrect to Alex Rochon Spampton. So that'll be an easy way to do it. But it's not all I do. Sometimes I make tier lists of stuff. I've made like a few silly little few second long memes that you can share. Forum weapons, I guess you can call them. And you can follow me on Twitter at Alex Rochon VA.
Fantastic.
Similarly, you could just follow me on Twitter. I am R Barcenas, VO. Plugs. I mean, we are doing more Prince of Tennis dubs, so I am two supporting characters in that, and be on the lookout for more of that. And that's all I have right at the moment.
I am a recluse and busy with doing the ordinary standard adulting sort of stuff. So while I do have a YouTube channel, it hasn't been updated in several years. So you don't have to worry about going over there. If you do want to check out a couple of the videos that I do still have on there, for it's Sophie B Powerhouse, and they were a couple of Dragon Ball What If videos and stuff like that. But apart from that, pretty much just comment, subscribe to Masako's channel, and watch and enjoy Masako's content over on Masa's channel. I help out on occasion over there.
Most notably for the Videl and Chi-Chi What If, certainly.
Yeah.
And Caulifla.
Please do.
And Caulifla,
We
yes.
have
Our latest
talents in
bother.
terms of directing and editing and acting.
Yes.
So just
Right
please
on.
subscribe to Moscow X's YouTube channel if you haven't done so already.
Oh, thanks.
Please,
Thanks, folks.
please, thank you.
Thanks, folks. Either way, that about wraps things up, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Join us next time for our regular podcast things, as well as, of course, tune into Revelation F Season 3, which we hope to have out in September, maybe October. Depends on how inspired we are for season 3, but you will be getting it this year. So either way, folks.
Also, stay tuned for like a big announcement soon.
Yes, of course. There's something else, not just the full season video, something else as well. Either way, that about wraps things up, folks. Take care, and all of you stay safe. Bye bye.
Au revoir.
Toodles.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.